सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां योगीन्द्राणां त्वदङ्गेष्वधिकसुमधुरं मुक्तिभाजां निवासो भक्तानां कामवर्षद्युतरुकिसलयं नाथ ते पादमूलं नित्यं चित्तस्थितं मे पवनपुरपते कृष्णा कारुण्य सिंधो कृष्णा कारुण्य सिंधो हृत्वा निशेषतापान् प्रदिशतु परमानन्द सन्दोहलक्ष्मी
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Jananam. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. In Nrisimha Avataram, in Prahlada Charitram, we have been witnessing the beautiful form of Bhagavan who emerged from the pillar as Narasimha, Nrisimha or Narasimha Vapuhu. This beautiful form of Bhagavan has been presented by Bhaṭṭatiri with such great grandeur. He continues, Nūnam Vishnurayam Nihantyamumam iti bhramyadgada bhishanam daityendram samupadravantamadhrita dorbhyam prutubhyam amum viro nirgalitotha kadghaphalakau grinhan vichitra shraman vyavrinvan punarapapata bhuvanagrasodyatam tvamaho tvam aghritaha dorbhyam prithubhyam. So those two stout hands, dorbhyam, those two stout hands, adhritaha, Bhagavan caught those two hands, amum daityendram samupadravantam. With those hands, Bhagavan caught that asura who was rushing towards him, Daityendram, Samupadravantam, who was rushing towards him, Bhramyad Gada Bhishanam Iti. That man who came was, holding that mace and whirling it around. So that asura who was coming with that mace around, Bhagavan caught him. Ayam Noonam Vishnuhu Amu Nihanmi. This is surely Vishnu. So this Hiranya Kashipu was telling to himself, this must be surely Vishnu. I am Noonam Vishnu. Amum Nihanmi. So he has come to kill me. That also he knows. So he knows two things for truth. That this is Bhagavan, Sakshat Nārāyaṇa Vishnu. And he has come to kill me. Then he says, Atha Saha Viraha Nirgalitaha. So that particular brave Asura, Bhaṭṭatiri says, why should I not praise him? See how bravely he is fighting with Bhagavan. Atha saviraha nirgalitaha. He slipped off from Bhagavan's hands. Grindhan khadga phalakau. Then as he fell, he grabbed the sword and the shield. So Grindhan khadga phalakau. Please understand, this is the war scene that's happening between the two. Khadga phalakau vyavrinvan vichitra shraman. There he showed, I'm sure all of you would have seen such sword fights, especially if you go to the states of Rajasthan and Haryana. the Rajputs used to do those sword fights. And if you come all the way to the southern state of Kerala, there are various kalas that are being performed where, they take the swords, they take the sticks and they perform that. All this Hiranyakashipu was showing towards Bhagavan. See how much I know. He started doing this. So Bhaṭṭatiri says, Vyabrinvanne Vichitra Shramat. So he was trying to threaten Bhagavan. See, I know how to fight with the sword. Again. So he fell from Bhagavan's hands, grabbed the sword and shield, showed his, that warmanship, and then rushed towards Bhagavan. Punaha apapatatvam. Again he rushed towards you. Bhuvana grasodyatam. Rush towards you. Who are you? Grasodyatam. Bhuvanam. Who's ready to swallow the entire world. How marvelous. Aho. See, when Bhagavan is there, who has created the world and is present, this man couldn't even course correct, seek remorse, fall at the feet of Bhagavan and say, please forgive me. Instead, he is showing all this word fight to Bhagavan as if he is a great warrior. He could be a great warrior. Bhaṭṭatiri himself says, Veeraha, I am Veeraha. He is a great, brave person. But not a very mindful person, not a person who uses his senses, not a person who has common sense. So this is what Bhaṭṭatiri says. Then he continues that fight. Bhramyantam ditijadhamam punarapi prodgrihya dorbhyam javadvare thorayuge nipatya nakharan vyutkaya vaksho bhuvi nirbhindan adhigarbha nirbharagaladrakvambu bhaddotsavam Payam payamudairayo bahujagat samhari simharavan atha punaha api prodgrihya. Then again grasping javat dorbhyam ditijadhamam. Ditijadhamam. This particular asura was the son of Diti. Adhamam, very low-minded. Javat dorbhyam, holding both his hands. Bhramyantam nipatya, was circling him around and threw him. Where? Dware, near that particular doorway. Why should he use dware? Because it is believed that Bhagavan had to suffice every condition given as a boon by Brahma to Hiranyakashipu. What were the boons? The person who kills me should neither be completely animal nor human. So he came as a combination of man-lion, which is Narasimha or Nrisimha. Second, he said, I should not be killed neither inside my house nor outside my house. So technically, the doorstep is that which demarcates the house from the outside. So you cannot technically say that the doorstep falls within the house, nor can you say that it falls outside the house, because you're going to take care of your door. So it falls within the house, as simple as that. But when you count the carpet area, when you count, mundane things that we do in this world when we buy an apartment, is the door and the doorway counted? We don't know. So it is something that lies between the outside and the inside. So it is somewhere in the middle. So Bhagavan had to suffice that condition. So he was thrown near the doorway. Dware. Uru yuge. So he says, Uru yuge. He placed him on both his laps. Why the lap? Because Hiranyakashipu's boon was, I should not be killed in Akasham, not Bhumi. So you cannot kill me in this space. So all this is space. I cannot kill you there. So, if I shoot an arrow, he's still in space. I cannot push him to the ground and kill him. Like how Durga does for Mahishasuramardini, I cannot do. Because when you do towards Mahisha, the Asura, he's lying on the floor and then, so he has an association of earth. If you put him, like how, Ravana was shot in Akasham, which is ether, which is space, you cannot do that. So Bhagavan thought, might as well I'll put him on my lap. So this lap, thereby his body will have association with a region which is neither technically earth nor space, which is ether. So Uru Yuge Vyutkaya, then thrusting on him, Nakharan. So he used his nails. Why did he use his nails? Because his boon was, I should not be killed by anything which is animate or inanimate. So nails are technically those regions, except the cuticle portion. Everything else is a conglomerate of dead cells. But the beauty is, despite being dead cells, when you keep chopping them off, they keep growing. So growing is generally a sign of life. So you can call it animate because it keeps growing as you cut. But does it pain? Suppose if you chop off my hand, I'll be suffering in pain. Chop off my leg? Yes. But if you chop off my nails, will I suffer? No. It shows the sign, like how I would cut a paper and envelope. So is the cutting of nails. So it doesn't cause any pain. You can treat it inanimate because there are dead cells. But you can call it animate because it keeps growing. So it's between animate and inanimate. So he says, Nakharan vaksho bhuvi nirbhindan. He tore the chest of Hiranyakashipu open. Payam baddhotsavam. Then he tore open that stomach region, abdominal region. Payam baddhotsavam. See, this Nrisimha avataram, as much as is very graceful towards Prahlada, he shows that when Paramatma gets angry, we can't withstand. Payam baddhotsavam. He started drinking that blood that was gushing out. Adigarbha nirbharagalat raktambu. That blood was just gushing out, and Bhagavan was drinking that. Tvam udairaha ayaha bahu simharavan jagat samhari. Udairayaha, that roars, bahu simharavan. It looked like those elephant, that lion roars. Jagat Samhari, that which is capable of destroying the entire universe. He was doing that. Next. Tyaktva tam hatamashu rakta lahari sikto namadvarshmani pratyutpatya samasta daitya patalim chakhadyamane tvayi bhramyad bhumi vikampitam budhikulam vyalola shailotkaram Protsarpat khacharam characharam aho dustham vastham dadhau tvayi tyaktva hatam tam. Then when you leaving the dead asura, ashu pratyutpatya, and jumping up quickly, as you jumped up quickly, rakta lahari sikta unmad varshmani, that gigantic body which was filled with blood, with a flow of blood, akhadyamane sati, started eating up samasta daitya patalim, the entire host of asuras. So all those people who came to fight, they were also killed. Aho, Bhaṭṭatiri wonders what wonder it is. Characharam, all the animate and inanimate beings, dadhau dustham avastham, they fell into a most unbearable state. Bhramyad bhumi, with the earth whirling around. See, there was an effect, repercussion in the nature. Vikampita ambudhi kulam. The oceans also started showing the turbulence, suddenly high waves. Vyalola shailotkaram. The mountain ranges started shaking. The Himalayas, the Vindhyas, they were all shaking. Protsarpat khacharam. So that is when the stars and the heavenly bodies, they were looking scattered. So if you look up to the space, the stars and the heavenly bodies, they look scattered. The mountains started shaking. The earth started feeling the tremors. The ocean showed its turbulence. Blood was gushing out of the asura's body. Whoever came and attacked, they were killed. Bhagavan was showing his krodham just not on Hiranyakashipu, but on all those who were tormenting the innocent ones. Comes a question. Shouldn't Bhagavan have been very soft and advising? See, advice will always work. There's no doubt. Peace is always the solution. But that will work only if the other party chooses peace. If the other party also feels, let me also correct myself, course correct and choose peace. But if people don't course correct, then nations have the very right to defend their territories. Same is the way when Bhagavan wants to protect his one child Prahlada, he tries to course correct the other child Hiranyakashipu. See, for Bhagavan, both are his children. One child keeps troubling the other. Bhagavan gives a lot of chances, Shastram, so on and so forth. But if the person isn't ready to listen, that is when Narasimha Vapu Śrīman, he comes as Narasimha. So this Narasimha avataram is not to show that Bhagavan gets perturbed. He's Sattva Guna. He's the very personification of Sattva Guna. He never gets angry. He tries to correct. But at one point in time, if the correction doesn't happen, he himself corrects it this way. Narasimha Avataram showcases that. But you may ask, what will happen to Hiranya, Kashipu, Hiranyaksha? Then they will be born as Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Shishupala, Dantavakra, and then they will come back to Karya Vaikuntham as Jaya and Vijaya. So there's no doubt. So they are elevated to a better state. But from where? When they have been doing mistakes. So spare the rod and spoil the child. It doesn't work with Sanatana Dharma. A mother or father should never ever be witness to their child's misdeeds. They have to correct their child. That is very important. When Bhagavan does, he does it this way. Who is to question him? So he says, Vikampita ambudhikulam vyalola shailotkaram protsarpat kacharam. Protsarpat kacharam. Whatever you see, they all got scattered. So was the anger of Bhagavan. But how long can this anger continue? He has achieved his purpose. He has annihilated the asura called as Hiranyakashipu. Will he continue with this anger? We don't know. Let's see that in the next episode.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादि दिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते. नारायण 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 नारायण